Good morning. Have you ever just wanted to quit your job and just go drive out into the desert and just stay there for a while, just off the grid, and just disappear from society for a little bit?
Well, you can today, living vicariously through us, because that's what we're doing.
So come along with us as we figure our life out. Or don't. Either way, it's probably entertaining. Hopefully. It's entertaining because it's not you. When it's actually you, it's stressful. So welcome back to Candy Adventures. If you look around, it looks like you are at the world's greatest redneck yard sale. And you would think you would be deep in the heart of Arkansas or North Carolina, but you're not. You're in the beautiful state of California and a very rich part of California where we've been working for the last 3 months.
And today we are actually leaving where we were working and living simultaneously because we were doing a work camping sort of situation where you work at the campground you're living at.
And we live full-time back here in this truck camper. This is a 2006 North Star on top of a 2001 Ford F-250. And so for 3 months, we've been living and working every day in this camper. And we have not had time to use this boat or those motorcycles parked back there. So we're going to take this opportunity in between jobs, which we don't have the next job figured out yet, to maybe enjoy some of these things and just go live in the desert.
Yeah. So in preparation for this move, we did a few upgrades.
First, we really taxed our poor little Honda Ridgeline, our little trucklet, as we like to call it.
Trucklet.
And we put these two little motorcycles, and one of them is not really a motorcycle, but a scooter. We have a Bergman 400 and a CRF 300L, and though both of these together are half the payload of this Ridgeline, the aging rusted springs on it did not like it, and the tires wore horribly and it squatted the truck. So what we did is we found on Facebook Marketplace this super awesome, I have no idea how old it is, 3-rail motorcycle trailer. So much easier loading something with big normal motorcycle wheels with no plastic in the way you can like watch where your tires are. This is the hardest thing I've ever put on a trailer. You have this much ground clearance and breakover angle. You can't see where your wheels are. So for this, 0 stars for loadability, and the CRF pulls into the lead with 100 points for easy loadability.
First, it has this giant box on the front that is a lockable storage box. And the previous owners left all of their straps and tie downs in there for us to use, which was awesome. They also added this custom frame in the front, which is supposed to hold extra gas cans. And in this box right here, there is a winch, a crank winch. So if you ever need help moving the motorcycles onto the trailer, it's positioned right here. The paint looks a little rough, but that's just because sometime in the course of ownership, someone didn't like the white and painted over it with black, and now the black's just coming off, but it is rust-free and pristine.
Our second and more expensive upgrade that we have bought with our money since we've been working here is the rear suspension on our F-250. You can see here we've got a brand new leaf pack on both sides because our suspension was wearing out. Our leaf springs had all kind of flattened out over the years, and we didn't realize how bad it was until we started the cross-country road trip. But our timbrins here, you can see, are pretty squat. They were a little bit taller than this, and this gap in between here and the axle, these rubber bump stops were just sitting on the axle for the whole trip across the country. And that was a very miserable ride. So all the suspension was just in this really hard urethane, basically bushings. So we went with a new leaf pack that added 2 additional leaves in the rear, and that has picked the back of the truck up probably 4 or 5 inches. So we're doing the reverse of a Carolina squat. As redneck as we may be, we're not doing a Carolina squat. So
It's increased the payload, right?
yeah, the spring guy said it probably added another 2,000 pounds. Of course, that's just the springs. That's not saying like the truck frame and the axles and the brakes and everything like that. But the ride home from where we got this done in Stockton, California, which was like it was like a 6-hour round trip drive that day, was amazing. All the little divots in the road and stuff were just so much better. Because before, again, you were just riding literally on the axle. The frame was sitting on the axle with a urethane bushing in between, and it was absolutely miserable. So
now that you've seen the course of our upgrades, we have to pack all of this redneck yard sale up and find a place to sleep for tonight. Hopefully for free or for very low cost, maybe some BLM somewhere.
I hope so, but where we're currently at, there's not a lot of BLM close, but I think I found a cool spot about 4 hours from here. But the way we drive, and in California, legally, if you pull a trailer in California, which now we're both pulling a trailer, the speed limit is 55, which is really crazy. It's such a kind of like lawless, nothing is enforced state except on the highway, and like it's 55 with a trailer.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got 4 hours of driving, so let's get this yard sale packed up real quick.
Mona, are you ready to go on another adventure? Oh, good girl.
All right, we got our last e-bike loaded back here in the back of our trucklet, and now starting to get everything together. Just topping off our water tanks right here, because where we're going, more than likely we're not going to have any source of fresh water, so we're topping up our 30-gallon tank here, and then we're going to be saying goodbye to this shore power. We've had shore power for 3 months now. On tap heat, on command, never having to worry about the diesel heater. Just super nice having shore power, playing on the PlayStation, big screen TV hooked up in here, and that's all going bye-bye. It's getting ready to get very rustic very fast. Elizabeth's in here.
Cleaning.
We have our whole life ripped apart in here. Extra spare water. We always have spare water.
We don't own a house, so everything you see is everything that we have, and it all goes with us everywhere we go.
All right, we got it down. We were a little leery because we put a foam topper on our mattress, and as you can see, there's not much space there. So we're very excited that we get to keep it, because otherwise it was going to have to go in the dumpster. Everything's got good tire pressure in it. Everything seems to be working good. Our new leaf springs, I think, are going to be awesome. They haven't flinched at the additional tongue weight of the boat. And our little motorcycle trailer seems to be hooked up good. And I just have to remember to keep it in my mind that this is on the front. Because after not driving with this on the front for several months now, you got to keep remembering there's a thing up there, there's a thing up there. Before, I had a collapsible fishing rod right here that stuck up like this just so I could remember it was there, but I think it'll be okay. So let's get on down the road and see if we can find somewhere to sleep tonight that we don't have to pay any money and we can fit our rolling redneck monstrosity here.
You sleep all night, work all day, taking money, throw it all away. You say you're gonna be a superstar, but you never hung around enough to find out who you really are.
We are winding through this epic canyon that has a giant river on one side and huge boulder cliffs on the other side. We are in a race right now to find a place to camp before that sun goes down. We want to be able to see where we're setting up and kind of our surroundings. It's really, really difficult to set up in the dark. I don't know if any of you have ever done it before, but it sucks. We have no idea what these spots actually look like. When you do research online, you think you know, you can look at photos and YouTube videos, and I feel like a lot of the time it still never really shows you exactly what it's like until you actually get there. Oh, boy. Oh, I forgot you existed. Oh, boy. So as expected, we made it in complete darkness.
Where's the level? That's not bad. Just kind of head down. I'd prefer it to be the other way.
It's not even that bad side to side. That's so creepy. I keep forgetting that's there.
Okay, go outside. Most of the roads we wanted to turn off onto have a gate across them, which is not on any website or anything, or at least not on the websites we checked. Seems to be a recurring theme since we've been in California. Like all the national forest is closed that we've been here. We lived right beside the Los Padres National Forest, and the entirety of that forest was closed the whole time we were there. From every entrance, every parking area, you weren't even allowed to walk in. But that wasn't exclusive to there because it's over here too. And we found a little piece of BLM land to camp on. We don't know what it looks like during the daytime because this is not what we planned for, either plan A, B, or C. So this didn't even make it into our contingency plans. But we did find a spot, and now we are going to, because it is late and we are tired and we have no refrigerator. And
Chicken nuggets?
These chicken tenders, I think are going to be dinner tonight on some hot dog buns. And to make them, we are going to do it in the most flagrantly abusive use of power that we possibly could. We could make them on a grill, we could cook them another way, but I'm going to air fry them. I'm going to air fry them with this battery bank, which is like the most...
You're so bougie, off-grid.
It's the most power wasteful thing we could be doing. But we don't have to fire up a generator, so we're not being noisy. There is some people like over the hill over there. And we even went out of our way to get our forest fire permit license or something, but you still can't use that here. So we will be using our air fryer. I'll go ahead and let you look in our air fryer right now, because the one we clean it about once every 6 months.
Don't tell them how gross we are.
I like my bacon to taste like chicken tenders. I like my chicken tenders to taste like bacon. I like my pizza pockets to taste like chicken tenders.
This is like a cast iron skillet. The ones that people refuse to wash, you just wipe out with a paper towel.
Just keep it going. So all these tendies are going to get cooked because these are not fully cooked. These are raw chicken tenders or partially cooked.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
We're going to cook them completely and then dole them out over the next couple of days. Turn it on, hit a button that looks like chicken, and it's just going to do its thing. 40 minutes. Okay. So
now we watch the output go up. Oh my god.
That's a lot of power. That is a lot of power.
It already put the fan on, and this is the first time we've used it.
Just wanted to share a little pro tip that we've learned after living in this camper full time. We don't have a lot of luxuries, but if you really want to feel pampered and like you're a coastal elite, throw your off-brand Crocs underneath. These are Shark Week brand Crocs. Throw them right under your diesel heater. This thing's rocking and rolling, and these things get all gummy and soft. And when you throw your feet into these things, you feel like you make $50,000 a year. Well, you don't if you're us, but you feel like it when you throw something that comfy on before you go out and take a leak. So give it a shot. Diesel heater in here just pumping. Got the beautiful smell of chicken tenders going. I mean, what else could you ask for? Heater, chicken tender smell. We got a queen size bed ready to go. We might not have much money, but when you got a queen size bed with a foam topper, it's warm, diesel heat going, chicken tenders on the cooker. That's about the apex. I don't care how much money you got. That's about the apex.
Cutting all of them in half just to make sure.
Just to make sure, and they fit in the hot dog bun better.
Oh, that's true.
And the final product. Whoa!
It looks like a beige hot dog. That's some good old hot brown.
All right, we're gonna have our mini sandwiches, and we're gonna see you guys in the morning so we can actually check out and see where exactly we are, because it's dark when we got here, so that's always fun to see where you actually are in the morning. We're gonna finish watching a little Modern Family, see what Mitch and Cam are up to. They're always getting to some kind of shenanigans, and then we'll be up in the morning and see you guys later.
Your soul was free, your heart ran wide. Each day was different and life was a thrill. You knew tomorrow would be better still. But things have changed, you're much older now. If you're unhappy and you don't know how, why don't you look in
Well, that protein coffee was mid at best, but that's what you get here on Candy Adventures, is mid at best. But we are up, we are dressed, and we want to go explore around this area a little bit today and see if we're going to stay here for a day or two. We still have another video that we need to edit for our second channel, which is just e-bike reviews. So we're going to try to find somewhere to hunker down and edit. But first, I want to see where we're at. We got here in the dark, and when you get somewhere in the dark, you have no clue the greater context of what's going on. But I do hear a river down there, and I do have a trout fishing pole with me. So I think we're going to go check that real quick and show you guys around.
And while we're doing that, we actually have our power bank set up and charging with the solar panels.
Yeah, we're at 73% charge rate right now, and it says that the battery will be recharged in 3 hours. So that should be pretty nice. We have it aimed directly at the sun, right up there. Nice clear shot, nothing obstructing it. So that should be nice and charged, so we can abuse it with the air fryer again tonight. You can see here we found a nice circular pull around here, so it was easy because we're both pulling a trailer. And this road kind of passes through, so we left it open to where if other people were coming through, they could. We haven't seen anybody do that in the 12 hours since we've been here, but they do have the option, so that's super handy for everybody involved. And then you can see here we have our trucklet removed from our trailer, and that is because there is no restrooms here, and the restroom inside this old queen is for emergencies only. So we unhooked our trucklet from our trailer, and then this can drive to some restrooms, which are about a mile down this road, down this Forest Service road, BLM road. So this down here, this is the Kern River, and this is the lower portion of the Kern River, which is below Lake Isabella. Both Lake Isabella as a lake and Lake Isabella as a town. It is below both of them. And the dam is over here. I don't know if you can see it through the trees.
Might be able to just see it. It's very tall.
Yeah, over here is the dam that blocks up the Kern River and makes Lake Isabella. And there is also some camping over there, but most of it we were seeing it was like $32 a night. One was $24 a night because you have to pay for an additional car, and we have 2 cars. So the place we found here is free, but I think we might go check some of this out later, possibly for a different night or maybe even tonight.
The places that were $32 a night, the only amenity that they had were vault toilets. So it was non-electric, just a space next to the lake for $32. That's very expensive in my book.
And we have the same thing here for free.
Yeah.
Now we do have to go a little farther to get to the vault toilets, but we can drop an e-bike off the trailer if we're going to be here for a little while to have a vehicle to get back and forth to them easily. And then the weather's super nice.
So this is the Kern River, known for being pretty treacherous actually. A lot of drownings have occurred in this river because it is very swift. But there are trout supposedly in here as well. This thing has just never steered us wrong. It is old Walmart reliable and has caught many a fish. What kind of trout are supposed to be in here? Just rainbow?
I think they stock rainbow and brown trout. And there's also the Kern River golden trout.
Whoa.
That is supposed to be native to here. But I don't know if that is still a thing or if they have been so interbred that the Kern River golden trout is no longer genetically diverse enough to be recognized as its own thing. I'm not sure. It's hard when we travel as much as we do and you try to Google every area. There's so much to learn in regards to the outdoors and hunting and fishing and camping. There's so many rules and so many regulations and so much information that we do our best before every video, but we're up till midnight last night Googling things and what's legal and what's not, and it's hard to keep track on all of it.
It can get very tiresome because a lot of people, learn the fishing regulations and the good spots because they've lived there for such a long time. You kind of figure it out as you live there. But if you're constantly moving and you only stay in one place for a day or two, or even a week, you just never really figure it out, but you do all the research. So we gather all this research just to try it one time and then move on to something else.
No luck on the fishing, which is fine, but it is a very pretty river. I think we're gonna go back up to the camper now and maybe have a Pop-Tart and do a little editing for our second channel. And then we're gonna kind of figure out where we're gonna go this evening. We might go drive around in our little trucklet and see if there's a better spot, or maybe might go check out by the lake and see if there's any free camping over there. Now we just gotta hike back up to the truck.
With a broken foot?
With a broken foot. If anybody out there knows of a good podiatrist, you can please let us know. Been putting one off for about a year now, and it's getting to the point where I can't put it off anymore. So I think when we finally get to where we're going, our main destination, which we haven't revealed yet, because it might change as we are changing, maybe we'll finally get to go to a podiatrist then. Or we're gonna go check one out in Mexico.
Baja round 2?
No. Now it's been a few videos since we've #shilled for Ryobi, but I gotta show you something. This is a hot glue gun. You think, why in the world you travel with everything you own and you gotta cut out the non-essentials, you have a hot glue gun. And it comes in handy all the time. And right now I'm getting ready to take our little CRF 300L out and explore, but my helmet is falling apart, this trim piece which holds a lot of the lining in. So I'm gonna hot glue it back. I hate to feel like I'm lap riding on Ryobi all the time, but come on, that's awesome. That's awesome. Ryobi hot glue gun, and it's holding the helmet together. And you got to think safety first. If you're going to ride your motorcycle in the desert, make sure to bring your hot glue gun for safety. I like to think out here, we passed the James Dean Memorial location where he passed away in his sports car back in the 60s. And I like to think that Mr. James Dean is looking down from heaven right now thinking, that's one pretty cool dude down there, really carrying on my legacy with his hot glue gun out there in the desert. Thank you, Mr. James Dean. I like to think so anyway. Trying to find a little bit more remote place for our camping if we stay here a few more days. We're kind of close to the entrance and there's a lot of traffic, people stopping by at night. So it'd be cool if we could find a different spot. Problem is we have 2 trailers and it makes these kind of places hard. Yeah, this would be a no-go through here with a couple of trailers. Super fun on a motorcycle though. This would be a huge no-go with a boat trailer and a Honda Ridgeline. Gonna get lost. I've deviated from the main road onto a OHV road. I need to figure out how to get back to the main road so I can actually be accomplishing my task, and I've gotten sidetracked. Back from my James Dean-esque gallivanting day in the woods by myself, which was a nice little breather from some of the more stressful things we've been doing at the job that we just left 2 days ago. So that was a really nice breather. Did find some like really cool spots, but not that I think I would want to take the boat and trailer and then the motorcycle trailers behind the Honda Ridgeline. And the Honda Ridgeline doesn't have a low gear and you'll overheat the transmission trying to do real technical stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is the best spot for now, which is nice. So she got to finish editing the video for our second channel, which surprisingly is getting better views and more recommendations than the channel we've had for the last 5 years.
Most of the time, our views for the Candy Adventures channel is like 0.2% is from suggestions, so all the views come from basically just people stumbling upon our stuff. Whereas this new channel, it is by far the highest metric at like over 90%, meaning that all of the videos that we've put up, which is only 4 or 5, are being launched into the YouTube atmosphere, and people are able to find those videos far easier than the Candy Adventures videos.
Launched for us, not launched on a grand scheme of being successful, but
Yeah.
we've just been having fun looking at the 2 different analytics in the background and watching this other channel beat our current channel that has 5 years worth of videos on it and all kinds of searchable topics. And for the last 3 days, the new channel is getting more views, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and the subscriber rate is higher for the amount of videos that we've put in.
And the videos are much easier to edit. They're so much faster to build and edit. So while I was doing that, she edited a video, and right now we have our little portable battery bank going into our internet right here, and then this dish is shooting all those bits and bytes of data up into low Earth orbit up there. So that's pretty fun. That still blows me away that we can just upload videos in the desert. We haven't had a big opportunity to use the motorcycle. It mostly just comes around because we're always working and there's always some issue, or all the national forest is closed or all the roads are closed. This place right here in, I think this is Keysville, just south of, that's Lake Isabel Dam right there in the background. There's BLM riding, and there's places that are designated, you have to have a street tag, it has to be an on-road vehicle like a Jeep. Then there's places that are designated, it has to be an off-road vehicle, no Jeep-sized vehicles allowed. Then there's places in this little area that is only for single-track motorcycles, and they actually have metal gates up that you can only be in there in a motorcycle. And having this dual sport is like a cheat code because you can go in all of them. You don't even have to read the road as long as it's an open trail. It has a license tag on it, so it can go in the places that street legal vehicles are supposed to go. It is a motorcycle width, so you can go in the places that only motorcycles can go, and it can go on all the off-road trails, because in California, all the green sticker trails, if you have a DOT tag on it, it's the same thing. So it's so awesome. Like, today was just such a life hack on that dual sport, like just going everywhere. And then the paved road that connects all of it in the middle, Keysville Road, you have to have a license tag. It has to be a motor vehicle, recognized by the Department of Transportation.
To even drive on it, yeah.
So you can just intercut all these trails back and forth, whereas if you had an ATV or a off-road only dirt bike, you would have to put it on a trailer and then take it to the next area. And so I got to explore all afternoon just at my whim. Complete freedom, just complete freedom. Just a red-tailed hawk flying through the forest, and it's super awesome. I didn't find my mouse. But it was super fun to actually ride some single track. It's been a long time.
Yeah, the Bergman can't do that. It's not meant for that. And I had to edit anyway, so Chris got a little bit of freedom.
Yeah, so I just took a daddy day and just went exploring by myself, very selfishly. But this video will be up soon on the second channel, which I don't think is of too much interest to most people on this channel.
No.
We'll take a little walk up this hill, get a little exercise for today. The goal right now is to stay as free as possible for as long as possible, because right now we don't have any income coming in, which on the West Coast is super awesome. That's kind of why we're hanging out here. There's BLM all over the place. That doesn't even exist on the East Coast.
No, and there are a ton of campgrounds that are relatively cheap, and we might dabble in those just for the sake of having a shower or shore power for a day. But I wouldn't go over like $30 a night for one of those either. No.
And we're going to try to keep those to a minimum. We do have a hot water heater, and I was tinkering with it today, and I think I got it back working again, which will be super nice to have a quick little hot shower when we need it.
Yeah. We don't have a plan for our next employment stop, if people were curious, because we just stopped working a job. We don't have another one lined up, so we are just floating at the moment.
And that's the other reason why we're trying to stay nice and cheap. So our next location is probably going to look pretty similar to this one, but in a different area. So we're going to go check out maybe some different parts of California, because we'd like to keep it warm, because we have a soft-sided truck camper.
Yeah.
And it's not insulated, so your water and your pipes and stuff can freeze and break in your tanks. So we got to keep it somewhere above freezing. So.
And it just makes it a little more comfortable.
All right, we thought we'd just show you guys this awesome view of the Kern River Gorge down there. And maybe we'll go explore Lake Isabel in the next video. Maybe we'll be farther into the desert, maybe in Arizona. I'm not sure. Kind of playing it by ear right now. Hope you enjoyed this vicarious fantasy where you get to live out the fantasy of quitting your job and hopping in your vehicle and just going and living in the forest for a while, because that's what we're doing. So
Yep.
we'll see you next video, having this vicarious fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Super stressful for us, but we're having a good time too. Hugs and kisses.
You're sipping whiskey from a paper cup. You drown your sorrows till you can't stand up. Now take a look at what you've done to yourself. Why don't you put the bottle back on the shelf? Yellow fingers from the cigarettes. Your hands are shaking while your